In this segment, Pop and producers take a look at North Philadelphia and the changing neighborhood around Temple University. We talked to Carol Smith, the executive director of the Beckett Life Center, a few residents of North Philadelphia, and Temple students on their thoughts about the changing community. Smith's company, Global Synergies LLC, gathered a team that renovated Beckett Gardens and created the Beckett Life Center in 2013. Ms. Bolden is a community leader who organizes weekly food drives. Here are their thoughts about the changing neighborhood.
What is the relationship between Beckett Gardens and Temple?
So we like to call ourselves community partners. We've had a lot of positive experiences having the community center here, having the interaction of having tutors, having programs here. We had a special event for Martin Luther King Day, and the entire Temple basketball team came here to volunteer that day.
Have you seen any changes in your neighborhood?
I would think just a lot of construction, new houses, a lot of students.
We are sitting in the middle of a college campus. College kids do what college kids do.
There are concerns around student behavior because you're living in community. But it's not all the students, but there's a good portion who just don't have a real sense that you are living in a residential neighborhood.
There's a lot of students coming in and out. A lot of the young white students coming from the suburbs, they feel really awkward about the people who are permanent residents of Philadelphia.
Have the taxes gone up for your home?
I am an owner of 2 homes in this area, and one of the houses, the taxes went up, I think it's like $400. The other house has gone up to $3,000, $4,000, something like that, and I don't understand how they could do that.
They're trying to force us out. That's the changes. They're going to break all my kids' friendship up and everything. 43 years of friendship. Everybody I know is from around here.
One of the changes that could come to North Philadelphia is a stadium for Temple University's football team. We asked the community about their thoughts on the proposed stadium.
The news came around asking questions, interviewing us, wanting to know how we felt about what was going on with Temple and the stadium. And at that time, we didn't know anything was even happening. They didn't tell us what they were doing.
Well, at first it's sort of like a punch, and it's like, where? Where's this going to be? And then you begin to look, and then you say, isn't there a senior citizens home there? Isn't there daycare? Isn't there the high school? Engineering and Science, one of our premier school district high schools. Isn't there a playground? Are you serious? You're going to build that? And then there were other people who would live right across the street. They don't want that. Like, why would you build that in a residential neighborhood?
Do you want there to be a stadium across the street?
No, not at all. I feel like it's going to cause a lot of traffic. It's going to cause a lot of noise, more noise than we already have. This used to be very quiet. It used to be nice. If they put the stadium anywhere near here, that means they're going to need more. They're going to need parking garages. That means they're going to need parking spaces. That means they're going to need hotels. And to me, that means then we're going to eventually have to move anyway because they're going to want to buy our homes.
I have a background in economic development, so whenever there's some development, I think it's a positive. I've not heard most of the details, but I've been in other areas where a project like that has displaced people. If it's coordinated correctly, if people who are displaced are put into a home not too far, like not totally displaced out of their neighborhood, but maybe a few blocks down, and maybe you're upgrading their quality of life, then that's a good thing. If jobs are created and people who live in this neighborhood are considered first, I think it could be a very good thing, or it could be an awful thing.
Temple University declined an on-camera interview, but we did receive a statement from the university on the proposed stadium, which Temple estimates will save them $3 million annually. Temple asserts that a stadium would bring alumni back to campus and, quote, would also be of value to our community. By adding retail opportunities to North Broad and Norris Streets, there will be year-round jobs and more places for students and the community to come together to eat and shop.
They tell us one thing, just like when they built this stuff up on Cecil B. Moore, they said it was for the minority. They have the pub, they have all these big places down here on Cecil B. Moore, and none of them are minorities. It's like they say this to get whatever it is that they're trying to get done, but it's not for the minority. It's for Temple.
If we learn how to pull it together, have community meetings with each other, bringing the elected officials to the table in these meetings,
Temple has hosted numerous community meetings to hear from community members explaining, quote, "The councils provide opportunities for community members to give input on important endeavors being undertaken by the university and allow university officials to hear from neighbors. Community members serve as a sounding board during the visualized Temple campus planning process."
I was going to these meetings and I was asking these questions and nobody could answer. And I was like, I gotta stop. I have to stop because this is really, it was physically, literally making me sick.
In addition to attending community meetings, Temple states that, quote, "Residents can visit the frequently asked questions page on Temple's website for clarity on the stadium," end quote. We also spoke with North Philadelphia resident Jackie Wiggins and Josh Guapera, a Temple University alum who are both members of the Stadium Stompers. The Stadium Stompers is an organization made up of community members and students fighting against Temple's proposed football stadium. Here are their thoughts.
Last year, we found out that the stadium plans were getting postponed until 2018. We believe that while there were some internal factors happening at Temple that caused that decision, a lot of that decision also came from the pressure that we put on them. I think for a university to completely disregard its largely black population, black and working class, is a slap in the face.
How has it been collaborating with the Temple students?
This is the first time that Temple students, some of whom have graduated, and those who haven't, who have seen what's going on, and they have joined us. So this is a good thing.
Our biggest message is that we are going to stop this stadium. But also our fight doesn't end with this stadium. It's one symptom of a larger problem, which is displacement and gentrification.